People, Deluded, I'm back again. I hope you're all doing well and safe this evening, or this morning, better yet. Can't lie, people, I feel like I'm on death's door. I feel incredibly ill. Apologies if I touch my nose, but I've still got to do this. Arsenal versus Manchester City. Now, Manchester City are now third in the table or so. They were expected to win the title, definitely be closer to Liverpool. Leicester look like Liverpool's challengers right now. Whether City come back or not's a different thing. I'm sure Leicester are just focusing on top four, but you never know what could happen. If Liverpool, I don't see it, but went on a losing run, dropping more points, and somehow they surrendered this gap, and Leicester or City took advantage, it would make for quite the fairy tale story for Leicester and exciting for the neutrals. But City are going to want revenge. Not against us. We ain't done nothing against City. Lord knows we barely put up a fight against Manchester City. That's why for me it's all about, of course I don't want to lose. First and foremost, of course, like every game I want to win. I don't want to get battered. For me it's a respectable loss. For me, come the 90th minute, regardless of City's form, we need, and it's easier said than done, and with Arsenal's form, but we need to leave that field with some credibility. We lost a 2-1, we lost a 3-1, a 3-2. You didn't get 6-1 and 7-0 and mad cricket scores and things like that, and the manner of the defeat. We know what we're going to get. We know Manchester City. Not that anybody doesn't know Arsenal's weakness, but they're not going to do that. We know they're going to pass to disrupt our positioning. Our positioning as a team is poor. We are poor off the ball. We're going against one of the best teams in the league in terms of exploiting these weaknesses. Midfield, we're potentially going to get overran because they're better than us. They work harder than us. Tactically, they're better than us, so we'll probably lose the midfield battle. The flanks is crucial. We need to follow our runners. City are very good at creating 2v1 situations and overloading areas. We need to be awake to this. Do I have any confidence that we'll be able to? No, because we've been defending like school kids, to put it nicely, even last night in the Europa League. Sakadinho saved our bacon. And to be fair, he's probably played his way into the Manchester City team or the Arsenal team to play them. If it wasn't for Martinelli, in my opinion, then I would go with him. But like I said, it's all about the manner in which we lose, people, rather than the loss itself. Like I said, I want to win. I want to see us be a bit fearless because I expect us to lose. I expect us to concede. You cannot sit back against City. Saying that, Newcastle did a number on City where they got a point off them. They were good tactically and things like that. But we're not a well-drilled side like that. Especially, it's all good and fine and dandy doing that in the first 10 minutes. Are you going to have the discipline to do that in the last 10 when your tired legs are going? I don't believe Arsenal was on that. So we're damned if you do, damned if you don't. But we should take something out of Norwich's game. Rather than sit back, go with a negative formation or a game plan, let's have a go. We're expected to lose either way. We probably will not outscore City. So let's play with that fearlessness that's been lacking when we played other teams. Do you get it? We played other teams and the form we've been there for the taking. But it's been more stress if we lose. There's more question marks, more headlines if and when Arsenal lose, which has proven to be the case 9 times out of 10. Regardless of City's form, everyone expects us to lose. So let's go out there. I want to see players. We're at home. Don't play with that handbrake. Try that skill. Try that hard pass. Obviously, I'm not saying be sloppy and play and whatnot, because like I said, City have Raheem Sterling. Gabriel Jesus just scored a hat-trick in the week. I'm not sure on Sergio Aguero's fitness. They've got Silva, who's passed it by his own standards, but still good. They've got Bernardo. You know where it is with Kevin with that right foot from long range and set piece situations. We can go through the great City sides. They've got fullbacks and whatnot. But to have any chance against City, you need to have a go. I'm not saying we'll beat City because Arsenal will not beat City in my opinion, but they've lost 4 times. They've got question marks on them. It feels like not the end of the cycle for Pep, but in terms of revitalising the side, a number of these players, potentially new ones, need to be brought in or they need tactics. So there could be question marks of them. So you could say it's not a better time to play Manchester City. They've lost 4 times this season, more so than they lost last season. So they're going to be hell-bent on revenge and want revenge specifically. And they're going to take that out on us. Like I said, a betting man, there's no way you can bet on Arsenal winning that unless you're deluded. Might put a cheeky pound on that. But I have no confidence. But for me, I want to come 90 minutes on Sunday. We have some credibility. Obviously, I'd like to win or get a point, but for me, it's all about the performance. I don't want cricket scores. I don't want the typical performance, which has been Arsenal this season and Arsenal of recent years against big teams. last season when we went away to City, we saw how they exploited us. City at home, they were barely at top gear, annihilated us, people. You saw Bernardo Silva and whatnot. And you actually heard Arteta was working on exploiting certain weaknesses of Arsenal in the week, and that's why they were celebrating together when they scored. So we need to be aware of this. For me, without going into detail, what we do off the ball is arguably more important on the ball against Manchester City. When you play against Pep, it's a game of chess, not checkers. You either go there with a well-drilled team or play them like Steve Bruce and frustrate them, or you have a goal. Klopp has the formula against them. He has a goal. I wouldn't say they rely on outscoring them, but they have a goal. You obviously saw Manchester United do their thing against Man City as well, whether you have your point or not. So I'm not saying we're going to do what they're doing, but there's inspiration from that. If you fight for each other, if you don't over-respect this City side, if you stay switched on off the ball, it is what it is. Because we're going to be outnumbered in defence for multiple times. We're going to have to follow runners. There's going to be 2v1 situations, players making runs just to disrupt us. So positioning, how we work as a team, actually our first line of defence, our strikers, how they press together is the thing for me. That's why for me, Lacazette's my guy. I still think people shouldn't write him off, and he has a seat. He still will have a part to play this season. But for me, Martinelli's played his way into the team. Unfortunately for Saka, or Saka would play. For me, you go Martinelli, you go Pepe, he's got his confidence, you go Aubameyang, who's quick, and we get them to press that back line. We get them to never stop running. Them lot have to put in a shift as much as the midfield and the defence. Midfield battle is going to be crucial. So we're going to need... There's also a case to potentially play just the Lacazette and Aubameyang and actually flood the midfield, put an extra man in midfield and try and not outwork Manchester City, but an extra man would help us, because I must admit, a pivot a free with technically Ozil. I know Ozil works hard, but defending is not his thing. And a pivot of Xhaka and Torreira, they're going to get eaten. Like, I got a lot of time for Torreira. Xhaka's been in good form since he's been reintegrated into the team, but... realistically, they're going to get overrun, outworked, and tactically there's going to be gaps. So these are things that they have to work on in the week. And obviously we beat West Ham. We're chasing consecutive wins for the first time since August. We obviously drew midweek. It's 3 games in a week. This is what, regardless of where your team is at the moment, you have to relish these sort of things. 3 games in a week. You need to come out with some credibility. Like I said, I'd like to win, which is not going to happen. I've accepted losing to City, but it's all about a respectable loss, if you can say that to me personally. Regarding statistics, Arsenal have lost their last 4 Premier League meetings with City. The last time they lost 5 consecutive top flight games against the side was against United from 1983 and between September 1983 and August 1985, people. City have obviously City have won their last 2 Premier League games at the Emirates, more than they had in their previous 32 at Highbury/the Emirates. City could become the first side to win 3 consecutive top-flight away games against Arsenal since West Ham did it in 1991 and 1995. Well, like I said, we're looking to secure back-to-back Premier League victories for the first time since August, where we did 3 in a row, I believe, against Newcastle. Was it Newcastle, Burnley, and I can't remember the third team. But away from that, City have already lost 4 games this season, as I've already told you. That's as many as they did last season. But in regards to playing in London, they've won 10 of their last 11 games, losing only 1, which is a fantastic record on top of just... You don't need statistics to comprehend how good that Manchester City side is. Obviously, there's injuries in that defence. Potentially away from home, the way City have been. If you ask questions of that defence, if you don't over-respect them, if you press aggressively, if you try and get shots off and whatnot, you never know what could happen. The key is mentality, mentally. You cannot go there and respect the fact that play us and respect the fact that Manchester City are the current champions, reigning champions right now, and they've got quality players in Pep Guardiola. Football is, at the base level, we know they're better than us. But when you cut the crap, football is just 11 players against 11 players, trying to put the ball in the back of the net more times than the opposition. That's what football's about. It doesn't matter if you're on 200 million a week and you're Man City or you're Oxford United. If you go out there believing you can win, doesn't always correlate, but you have half a chance. You keep hearing me say respect. You cannot over-respect the City side to have any chance. And they're going to be hungry. They've lost 4 games already. Realistically, not against us, but I do think they'll drop points again this season. It'd be probably, I don't want to say Pep's greatest ever management victory because he's won Champions League in that. But in terms of clawing it back, since he's been in England and this would be their third in a row title, this would probably be the most satisfying win because they've had to claw it back. Because clearly the team, Pep Guardiola and the personnel, by their own standards, probably need to reinvent slightly because that's just what's obvious on the pitch, in my opinion. In all competitions, Arsenal have conceded at least 2 goals in each of their last 3 home games. We've not done that in 4 since 1965. And then obviously we've conceded the first goal in each of our last 5 Premier League games. We've never done such in 6 consecutive games, people. However, no side this season has won more points from losing positions this season than Arsenal. So context, I say, and a lot of us say, we lack fight, determination, and to claw it back. So and that's true, but statistically we've clawed the most points back, which is 10. But we all know we've messed up games, had to chase leads, and done stupid things in that regards, people. Obviously, Lacazette. Oh well, in fact, I'm not going to mention that. There's a bag of irrelevant stats, people. There's no point mentioning any of them things. But lastly, I guess, is the lineup. And in the lineup, I've already said the front 3, so I'll mention them last. But Leno picks himself in goal. In defence, it's the best of a bad bunch because I would go Chambers and Holding, but that pairing doesn't. I think that's the best of a bad bunch with our current options, but it doesn't fill me with any confidence. Not sure on Holding, still got bruising to his knee, wasn't involved in Europa, so it's safe to probably assume that he won't be involved in the weekend, or if he is, he'll be on the bench. So I'm going with Leno, Bellerin if fit, Bellerin plays. If not, it's Maitland-Niles, but I'm going to go Leno, Bellerin, Kolasinac at left back. Callum Chambers for me plays at centre half with David Luiz. Just because I think David Luiz is slightly better than Socrates. In midfield, I'm going to go with Torreira. I'd actually go Torreira and Guendouzi, but I do believe on current form, although I think Xhaka will get overran and he is quite immobile, he's looked alright in his last 3 games. So I'm going to go Xhaka and Guendouzi. Xhaka and Torreira, sorry. We need players that are brave on the ball, so I'm going to play Mesut Ozil. And like I said, injuries have probably shagged it. There is a choice to bring in Guendouzi and go with a flat midfield 3. But I'm going Mesut Ozil, Torreira and Xhaka. Up front, I've already said it, I believe Martinelli deserves another start purely because he's going to fight and he's going to rise to the occasion. If not necessarily doing superstar stuff, just tracking runs and being up for this. Pepe, we bought him for 70 odd million. Games like this, we need him to do stuff and he's confident. We need players who are ball carriers. If we are under pressure by City, he can obviously give us an outlet. And Aubameyang's there as well, and whatnot. So we've got 3 kind of pacey front options. There is a case to go with 2 strikers, people, and whatnot, because Lacazette hold up play and whatnot. But I will just go with more or less the same team that played West Ham, in my opinion. On that note, though, I've made myself late, so I need to get out of here. People, it's been a pleasure. Gonna have to love you and leave you, though. DG.